Good. Let my hair grow. Hey.
Actually looks really good.
No,
Mine's about the same.
we're going on holiday soon, and where we go in Dubai, there's this really good backstreet barber. Amazing. It's where all the locals go, and you go in there, and you're in the chair for 2 hours. You get a haircut, a shave, massage, a facial, you name it. And how much does it cost, Jem? Bearing in
Probably
mind
about
we're in Dubai.
£3. Probably about £3.
No, £15.
That's not bad at all, is it?
It's not bad for in the chair for 2 hours, and it's pucker service. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to let it grow. I'm going to treat myself when I get to Dubai. Travel restrictions permitting, of course.
Yes.
Mm. So I thought I'd give everybody a bit of an update because there's been quite a few things happening recently, and the way I'm looking at this now, if the exit from the first lockdown back in the summer was the end of the beginning, then with the effective vaccine being administered next week, are we at the start of the beginning of the end?
Oh, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers
We've got to
crossed.
be.
Got to
We've
be.
got to be.
So where we're at the moment is let's talk about licensed premises and drinking alcohol because there's some strange rules that's come into Wales. So for those of you who are going to be returning to the park soon, the one thing you will notice is that the clubs will be closed, and the reason for that is because Mark Drakeford says we've got to close. We're not allowed to serve any alcohol. Um, Bit of a strange one, if I'm honest. I'm sure he's read all of the scientific advice and he's come to that conclusion based on fact. But from where I'm standing, I think all that's going to do now is just encourage people to have their own house parties and spread the virus at home. Because at least when you went into a licensed premises, there was social distance in place, there was PPE in place, there were procedures in place to keep everybody safe. And whilst they're shutting all the pubs down, you go shopping quite a bit, Jem. You go to all the major supermarkets. Where would you feel more safe at this moment in time, in your local or in the supermarket?
And the local,
Yeah, there you
without a
go.
doubt.
So
Without a doubt.
our hands are tied on that, and I feel sorry for the businesses who are solely our licensed premises. We're a little bit more fortunate because our clubs and pubs form part of a larger business, so it's not really going to have a major detrimental effect on us at this time of year. It's more of an inconvenience, especially for those who just want to come down and have a quiet drink. You're not allowed to do it. Unfortunately, you have to drink in your caravan. So we don't know when that's going to end. They did want to. Some of the opposition members in Wales wanted to put it to a vote, but that got vetoed. It is what it is. We are where we are. We just have to wait and see what happens in that regard. So now we come on to travel restrictions. I'm just going to scroll down my notes. Um, and the Welsh government have released some guidance on the virus and travel restrictions relating to that. And in effect, what they're saying is if you're in England, because that's where most of our customers are from, England and Wales. So we won't talk about Scotland or Northern Ireland for the time being. We'll just concentrate on England and Wales. So if, for example, you live in England, providing you are in a tier one or tier two area, then you are allowed to visit your caravan and stay overnight. That's the interpretation we're getting from this very ambiguous guidance. What it does clearly state, however, is if you are in tier three, which is the tier with the most restrictions in place, then you're not allowed to leave tier three at all to come to Wales for a holiday. Well, you can leave for very, very limited reasons, but coming on holiday to your caravan in Wales is not one of them. So in essence, I'll give you an example. Let's talk about Park Farm in North Wales. Most of our customers in Park Farm are from the northwest, in particular Liverpool, Merseyside, Wirral, that area. Until recently, they were in tier three. Because of the mass testing and the way everybody in that part of the world has pulled together and sort of got on board with the program, they've now been reduced to tier two. So that means that all of those customers who've not been able to visit the caravan for many, many weeks are now allowed from Friday at 6 o'clock onwards to travel across the border into Wales to visit their caravan at Park Farm. However, if we move further across the northwest to Manchester, Manchester's now in tier three. So unfortunately, those people who own caravans in Park Farm will not be allowed to travel across the border into Wales. And strictly speaking, they're not really allowed to leave their tier three region either, unless it's for an exceptional reason, which the respective governments of England and Wales have published on their websites. Moving further down towards the Midlands, most of our customers at Claret Bay, which is where you and I are based, are from the Midlands. And pretty much the whole of the Black Country is now in Tier 3. I think Birmingham's in Tier 3 as well, unless I'm mistaken. Moving out of the Black Country, going into sort of Shropshire and Staffordshire. I'm not entirely sure, but I could be wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Jem. I think Shrewsbury, Telford, places like that are in Tier 2. I think the cut-off point is when you sort of leave Telford and start getting into Wolverhampton, into the Black Country. That's when it starts to go into Tier 3. So that means for all of our customers who visit Claret Bay, the majority of them, unfortunately, at this moment in time, will not be allowed to visit the caravan. Now, one of the questions we had during the English lockdown, and I don't think this has changed much, was the question of, well, look, I'm in Tier 3. I need to get to the park because I need to winterize, secure my caravan. Now, this is where it got a bit interesting because at the time, the Welsh government said, well, we haven't got an issue with it. It's fine because if you just come in for the day, you're going to secure your caravan, winterize it, you can do that and go back home again. But when you look at the legislation, the English legislation, it clearly said that that was not an acceptable reason for leaving Tier 3. So, unfortunately, you're caught between a rock and a hard place there between two sets of legislation. And I don't think much has changed in that respect. I still don't think that there's an opportunity within either the Welsh government's legislation or the English government's legislation for you to leave Tier 3 to come and winterise your caravan. Because even if the Welsh government said, yes, that's acceptable, you're still breaking the English law by leaving that Tier 3 area. So that's where we're at, Jim. That's where we're at. I'm just scrolling down my notes to see if there's anything that I've missed. We're waiting for the Welsh government's approach to Christmas bubbles. To me, a Christmas bubble was always champagne and prosecco. It's got a whole new, different meaning this year. I'm just checking now to see if this has been updated. So I'm looking in real time. So I'm on the Welsh government's website. I'm on the frequently asked questions, and I'm just going to scroll down and let's see what it says. Just because this thing's updating all the time. Let's go to travel and public transport. So here we go. Are there travel restrictions in place in Wales? And it says there are no travel restrictions in place in Wales. However, we're asking everyone to think carefully about the journeys they take and the people they meet. We should all think carefully about where we go and who we meet, because the more places we go and the more people we meet, the greater the chances there are of catching coronavirus. In particular, it is also sensible to avoid travelling to and from areas with a higher rate if you can. Are there restrictions on travel out of Wales, for example, to England? It says, yes, travel out of Wales is only allowed under limited circumstances, such as for work or education. You will need to follow the laws in place in England. Can I travel out of Wales to vote? Well, we don't really need to know about that. I do not live in Wales. Can I travel through Wales to reach a destination? Don't really need to know about that. Let's have a look if it's got anything pertinent to our line of work. We've got guidance in place. We have one for you and Andy for body piercing services, if that's of any interest to you.
Why me and Andy?
So, you know, it's quite, you know, there's about 150 questions on it. I'm just looking now just to see if I've missed anything in particular.
So
visiting places.
So when you were saying about the travel restrictions...
sorry, here we go. I do not live in Wales. Can I travel to Wales for a holiday or to visit family and friends? And this is the answer. In general, no. Travel into Wales is not allowed without a reason or excuse. Hang on, is this really the latest one? Because this contradicts what I've been told in a different email by the Welsh government. Oh, let's have a look. Hang on, let's have a look.
Going back to what you said earlier about travelling out of Wales into England, so we're not allowed to do that?
No, not unless you've got a really... yes, over that 5 days, because don't forget, during Christmas, coronavirus is not going to affect anybody, so we can all do what we want for 5 days.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's just gonna wait on the sideline for 5 days while we all crack on and go around the country and do what we want. But come December 27th,
made the decision.
Yeah.
For the first time since we've been together, we're having our own Christmas, just the two of us.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. No, I'm second guessing myself. I'm just gonna see when these questions and answers were updated.
Yeah, Robbie's
First
just said that
published.
sounds like the old rules.
No, it's not. Last updated 3rd of December 2020.
So
You
that's
couldn't make
that's
this
different
stuff
from
up.
what they've told you.
Yeah, it's different. I've got an email here saying you can, and then it puts a link up across to the frequently asked questions, and it says, "Hang on a minute, you can't." So let me. This is live, of course. So let me just go back through this again, and let's just read this in detail. It says, right. I do not live in Wales. Can I travel to Wales for a holiday or to visit family and friends? In general, no. Travel into Wales is not allowed without a reasonable excuse. For example, traveling for work purposes, visiting family and friends, other than those as part of an extended household, or having a holiday is not currently considered a reasonable excuse. Although we hope to be able to welcome you in the not too distant future.
Crazy.
Yeah, so there you have it. There you have it.
Do we?
Yeah,
That's the
because I'm
thing
just going
now.
to look at this other. Let me just have a look at this other thing I've been sent by somebody. Right, so just so you know that I'm not going absolutely crazy and losing my mind, I'm going to see if I can share my screen because I'm going to show you the two answers that I've been given to this very same question. Let's have a look now. Where's my? Let's have a little look, shall we? All right.
Got a couple of questions come up for you.
I bet you have, yeah. um,
Yeah, they're mainly from me.
all right, so let's just go to this one here. Let me go to Zoom, back to meeting. Let's share my screen. There we go. Right, so can you see this here?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, question is, I do not live in Wales. Can I travel to Wales for a holiday or to visit family and friends? And there's the answer. You can see the answer?
Yep.
So, if we scroll to the top, you can see that last updated 3rd of December. Yeah?
Looks to me like they've not changed the frequently asked questions.
Yeah, it was the 3rd of December today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rules from the 4th of December. There you go. Read guidance on. So now I've had it in my inbox in the same format. I don't know if you can see that there. Can you see what that says on my phone there, Jim?
No, because you're screen sharing, so you're really tiny.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you can. How much I've got to zoom out for you to.
No, I could just see a blank screen, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, this is what I've got from the Welsh government on my phone, and it's exactly the same question. I do not live in Wales. Can I travel? And it says travel into Wales from tier 3 areas in England, level 3 or 4 areas in Scotland, and from Northern Ireland is not allowed at present without a reasonable excuse. For example, so what it's doing, it's taking that answer there, and in this response, it's basically saying you can't do it if you're in tier 3. Visitors from other parts of the UK are not prohibited in law from entering Wales. But as coronavirus cases are high in Wales, we encourage everyone to think carefully about our own lives and what changes we can make to reduce the risk, which includes thinking carefully about travelling. So there you go. So I think we go with that advice for the time being, to be quite honest with you.
We'll go with what suits us.
Yeah. So that's why this situation is confusing. I'm happy to take questions, Jem, if you've got any.
So, first question's from Susan Francis. She says, so what if we're in tier 3 until January when you close? How do we close up? Then she continued on with, can we close up between the 23rd and the 28th when there's no travel restrictions?
Well, okay, let's break this down. I would imagine if in the strict letter of the law, it's a difficult one because the travel restrictions that have been relaxed are for you to meet up with family and friends. So if you happen to meet up at the caravan to winterize the caravan, then I suppose that's acceptable. It's very there's, hang on, I've got my little. I'm going to set this door. There's a lot of ambiguity around it, and the honest answer is at this moment in time, I do not know. I don't know. Because you just seen there, we've got we've got the same question with two completely different answers. So I'm just going to try and find the published version of that of one I just read up there. Just bear with me. Go on, Karen, ask the questions.
Susan Hunt, Sue, just wants to know if you're going to be okay for your holidays.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Where's that come? Gaynor Morrison says on the government website it's not been updated. It's still the same as last week.
Yeah, but if you look at what I've just been looking at now, it was actually updated on the 3rd of December. Today is the 3rd of December.
Yeah.
I'm just looking again.
Well, Susan Hunt says on the news today it's saying that tiers 1 and 2 were okay to travel to Wales.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking again just to see
travel out.
Yeah, you can come. Yeah, yeah. But what I'm getting from this is if you're in tiers 1 or 2, then you can come to Wales. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think how you could enforce it otherwise, to be quite honest with you.
Christine Berry says, I know the club is shut for alcohol, but will it be open for takeaway food?
No. No, it's to be honest with you, Christine, there's just absolutely no point in us doing that. From 6 o'clock onwards, I'll be honest with you, it's just not going to be it's not going to be worth it this time of year. I think you're probably better off just dialing old Snoop Dogg at Just Eat and getting him to deliver you something.
Well, Chippy Dave's already answered one of the questions for us regarding that because he says the Chippy won't be open. Sorry, I sold all the potatoes.
It's not open anyway, so there's nothing to worry about there, is there? It could be Easter Sunday and it's not open, so why would you expect it to be open in the middle of December, Dave?
And no more questions?
No more questions. That's good. That's good.
No,
so
look, can't wait to come back, etc.
Let's just summarise what we said. If you live in England and you're in tiers 1 or 2, you can come into Wales and you can come and enjoy your caravan. If you're in tier 3, unfortunately, you can't. Whichever way it comes or goes, the clubs, pubs, bars, restaurants, they're closed for the foreseeable future.
Have you noticed all the thing about these tiers? It's quite a big bit of a conflab going on at the minute regarding London. Well, London's got one of the highest R rates, one of the highest rates of everything going up, but they're in tier 2. And then other counties that are lower than them are in tier 3. Yeah,
I think a lot of it, Jem, is the economy. I think a lot of it is the government wanting to protect the London bubble and wanting to protect the jobs in London because they see London as an important sort of hub financially, economically for the country. So I think they want to, personally, this is a personal opinion, I think they want to impose less restrictions there and perhaps more restrictions in other places. But that just could be the cynic in me that's thinking that. I don't know.
No, it's just the politicians wanting to do their Christmas shopping. That's what it is.
Possibly.
Right, Susan Francis says, just to confirm, I can meet my bubble and close up even if I'm in tier 3.
No. Well, again...
over Christmas, she's put.
Yeah, because Christmas, coronavirus stops for 5 days over Christmas.
Yeah. That's what people are saying. But can we come during the 5-day holiday, not to stay, but to close down? Yeah,
I would imagine. Again, it's one of those things. You've got to decide what you think as an individual is reasonable. I think if they're going to be relaxing it for the 5 days over that Christmas period, this is personal opinion. I think that would be deemed to be reasonable for you to go and do that. But I can't really sit here as a director of Vale Holiday Parks and say yes, you can do it. You ultimately, when it comes to things like that, where it's a grey area, and that is a grey area, I think individuals have got to make their own call on that. Do you agree, Jem?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, that's about it on here. Gaynor Morrison, I always knew that 2020 would end in tears. But
God. It's like the wedding, isn't it? You know, when the best man gets up to make the speech. You know, today's been an emotional day, ladies and gentlemen. Even the cake's in tears. But yeah, I know.
What you're reading is the answer under today's restrictions. It will change after 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's what Mark Willis says.
Yeah, that's probably yeah. Yes, Mark. I think you're right there.
And
Yeah.
Susan Francis saying, if not, we can't close up. If they can't go, but like you said, those 5 days is free for all. Everybody seems to be immune for 5 days, so.
Yeah, look, I understand why they're doing it because obviously Christmas Christmas is the most celebrated festival in this country. I know you've got there's a lot of people out there, a lot of atheists out there going, okay, then if you're going to do it for Christmas, you might as well do it for every other religious festival if that's what you're saying. Wait,
Christmas is different.
Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
No, Christmas is different. But saying that, it's only 1 year. You know, it's 1 year that we might have to miss out on seeing people. But
it is. But the sad thing about
crossed
that is you might not get that year back again. That's the only thing. You know,
yeah,
things happen. A lot of things happen in a year, don't they? So I can understand why people. I've said this before. I've got both my grandmas still alive. My elder of the two grandmas, she's coming in 97 next birthday, and her attitude is, don't get me wrong, she's not blasé in any way, shape, or form, but she's like, well, you know, I've survived World War II. I've survived loads of other things. I'm 97 years of age. If you think I'm just going to sit in here and wait to die, you've got another thing coming. I'm going to carry on as normally as I possibly can. You can't really blame her really for that.
Well, fingers crossed this vaccine's going to come out very quickly. Next week they're talking about, aren't they?
Yeah, I think for the likes of you and I, that the younger ones, we're going to be. I'm rightly so. We're going to be at the bottom of the list, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's
still, you know, it's still a positive thing.
Let's get it. Right, I'm going to go and watch Mr. Mercedes tonight. I've been told that's meant to be very good, Mr. Mercedes.
We've started his Dark Materials.
What's that on?
BBC.
What's it about?
The second series. It's quite mystical, and there's basically two. It's based in Oxford, but there's two Oxfords, and there's one that feels like it's the 1920s. But there's kind of everybody, all the people in that version. It's quite hard to explain. They're human, but their soul travels with them in the form of an animal that can talk to them. Okay, but then you can go through this thing that you end up in the normal. It's taken a couple of episodes. It's supposed to be brilliant. I mean, it's got some great names in it, but we're getting into it. We're about 3 or 4 episodes in, but the second series has just come out as well. So no, it's good. And of course, Celebrity. Have you been watching Celebrity?
I've been dipping in and out. Joanna and the girls have been sort of catching up on it every day, and
I've got to say, under the circumstances, with what's been going on with COVID, etc., I think they've done a great job of it, and it's some of the challenges have been the best challenges ever. There was the eating challenge, the drinking challenge with Shane Ritchie and Jess. That was one of the funniest things. Literally, me and Andy were sat there with tears down our face.
I suppose the thing with it is because of the weather, and they haven't got the opportunity to do the big outdoor bush tucker trials and all of that sort of stuff. I think they are quite limited as to what they can do. So all of the challenges that I've seen, they've all been pretty similar, haven't they? They've all had like a similar theme. Whereas when they're in Australia, they're sort of up in the air doing the aerial stuff, aren't they? And when they've got the big water thing they do towards the end. So I've missed.
That's tonight.
Is it tonight? Is it?
Yep, Celebrity Cyclone is tonight.
That's going to be freezing cold doing that tonight. Absolutely freezing. Yeah.
Yep. Another question just come through, sorry, from Catherine Wigley. If we come on the 23rd to put stuff away, do we have to let the camp know? Also, can the camp still do drain downs?
We won't be doing them on the 23rd. We can still do drain downs if you book them in subject to availability. But you do need to let anybody that's arriving this time of year now, we do ask that you let us know.
That's standard anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, everybody's excited about the Cyclone tonight. That should be fun. I think that Jordan's really funny.
Do you know what? When he's on Radio 1, I turn him off. He just does my head in on Radio 1. I think he's much better suited for television than he is for radio. That's my opinion. But having said that, I do think that he's now auditioned and got himself the job when it next comes up as the next Radio 1 breakfast show host. I think he'll definitely be next in. Not that it's going. I mean, Greg James is got the breakfast show at the moment, but I think the exposure he's had on Celebrity and that, and he does seem a really nice lad. I think he's probably going to be next in line for that job. But like I said, listening to him, I think he had like a weekend show, I believe. No. I do like him on Celebrity. I've got to say that I do like him on Celebrity. I didn't realise
Giovanna to win.
Yeah, I didn't realise Russell Watson was like 54. He had his birthday the other day.
He gave me the creeps a bit, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Do you remember the film? What was it? V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
With the mask. His face looked like the mask all the time. He got that sort of little smile. Giovanna to win for me.
Okay. We'll find out tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah. We will indeed.
All right, okay. I'm going to go. Lovely to see you.
You too.
See you soon.
See you all soon. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Bye.